Atma Namaste. Welcome to Soulful Living with Neeldhara. This is part 4 of my series Daily Spiritual Disciplines, where I'm sharing some of the disciplines that I followed in my spiritual journey. Today, I'm going to talk about the discipline of unification of image. But before we go ahead, I want to remind all of you that all these disciplines can and must be practiced in our daily course of lives. So, when we talk about image at an individual level, what I mean is self image, an image that a person creates about himself, a person perceives about himself, how he looks at himself. And this is mainly based on his understanding of his strengths, his weaknesses, his talents, his abilities, his achievements, his failures, his status, his position, his power over himself and over the others. And this is actually constantly changing because as a person grows and learns, his image about himself is also changing. So, this is nothing, it is not the ultimate truth of a person. It is just a perception of a person that he has about himself. For example, when a person says, I am a very creative person, or I am a fitness freak, or I like to read books, he has an image about himself because at that point of time, during that phase of life, this is what he does, this is what he likes, this is what he behaves like. So this is an image that he has created about himself. Now, every person has self image, and self image, when it has a positive impact on your life and on the others, it is known as self value or self worth. For example, when a person says, I am confident of doing so and so task very effectively, or I'm sure I deserve this position, then it is self value, it is self worth. A person understands his value, he understands his strengths. But if the same self image creates a negative impact or a negative outlook towards life and towards the others, it is called ego. For example, when a person says that there is nobody else who can do this task more effectively than me, or there is nobody else who deserves this position, it is only I who deserves this position, this is ego. This is not positive, this is a negative outlook that the self image has created. So ego individually, there is nothing called ego, it is just a negative outcome of the self image that a person has. So when a person focuses on his self image, he starts differentiating himself from the others. And when it is a superior differentiation, it is generally ego. We call it ego. And one of the most deceptive aspects of ego is that it creates very powerful emotional reactions and then blames everything that is external for the internal instability that it creates. So it is our ego that creates internal instability in us. When somebody takes away something from us, we are angry because we have attached ourselves with that particular part of the image that we have about ourselves, that I deserve this, I am the only one who deserves this. So if the position goes to somebody else, our ego is hurt, and it creates positive, very powerful negative emotions. And what do? We start blaming everything that is external. We start blaming our relationships, our employer, our colleagues, the environment, the markets, for everything that goes wrong internally. We start blaming everything external for that, and this is what ego does. And hence it is very important for a person to understand that spirituality only begins when we start ending our ego, when we put an end to our ego. Because ego creates only negative impacts on us. A person starts identifying himself with the talents, with the achievements, with the pleasures that he's accumulated, with all his status, with all his power. And hence, he only looks at himself with that, as a component of all these materialistic qualities and tangible resources that he's created. So It is very important that one stops identifying himself with these materialistic and tangible resources and qualities and starts identifying himself with what he really is, his soul. It is only then that his actual spiritual journey will begin. I know it is not very easy to stop identifying yourself with the life that you're living, but there are ways that you can do, and I'm going to share two very, very powerful virtues that you need to practice in order to shed your ego, in order to unify your image with that of God, with that of the universe, with that of the entire, with that of each and every soul who lives here, everybody. You need to unify your image with that of everyone else, with the divine. And the first virtue is the virtue of gratitude. One has to live in gratitude for all that one has, whether it is the beautiful family that you have, the home that you have for yourself, the food that you eat, every particle of food that you eat, everything that you have achieved, the talents that you have, the gifts that you have, the abilities that you have developed in your life. Feel the gratitude for that, because once you start identifying yourself as a part of this all potential universe, you will know that everything has been given to you, and what is given to you can be taken away, and what can be taken away definitely is not yours. You do not own it. So you really need to live in gratitude for everything that you have, for every moment of life that you live. Live in gratitude of the universe, of the divine, of the people that help you, because there are things you feel you're able to do, but there are many, many hands, there are many, many people who have contributed to your life for you to be able to do certain things. Live in gratitude. Start understanding that it is, you are not the only single entity in this world. You are living in unification with everybody else around you. Live in gratitude. Start thanking as a practice each and every day. Begin with a thanksgiving prayer. Two, the very, very, very important virtue is forgiveness. It's very important for you to be able to forgive people, to be able to forgive yourself also. If you're not able to fall into your own expectations, forgive yourself, because what happens is that when something goes against our wish, when something goes against our plans, when somebody says something to us, it is our ego that is hurt, because we have an image of ourselves and we want to act, and we want the entire world to act according to that image. So the more you carry that anger, the more you carry that grudge, you're actually feeding that ego, because you're actually telling that nobody can go against me, nobody can hurt me, nobody can not listen to me, nobody can do things which I do not approve of or which I do not like. So you're actually, that anger that you carry, the grudge that you carry feeds your ego more and more, and your ego keeps bloating more and more. And the farther you get away from the actual soul that you are, because you are stuck in that image that you've created about yourself, which is based on this material life. Once you start forgiving people, what you're actually doing is that you're telling yourself, it's okay. People can think differently. People can do things which I don't like. It's absolutely okay. Everybody does not have to behave the way I want to. I want them to. When you start forgiving people, you start accepting that you are nothing great that cannot be touched or damaged. That they are humans and you are human. And if they are hurting you, it is their life, it is their understanding of life, it is their choice to do certain things. And you start accepting people with different opinions, with different ways of life, with different approaches towards life, with different goals, with different thought process. And slowly that unification with everybody comes into place. It gradually comes into you that you are just a part of this all potential universe. So practice forgiveness. Forgiveness is such a powerful, it is a magical virtue. It actually releases you from every negative emotion that you carry, from anger, from frustration, from revenge, from vengeance, from um, blocking your mind, from the inability to look at what is positive in the situation. So it's magical, it is powerful, and it liberates you. It liberates you from all the negative emotions that you carry because of not forgiving people. So practice forgiveness in your daily life, practice gratitude in your daily life, and slowly you will start absorbing the fact that you are nothing but just a part of this all potential universe. This unification of image is a very, very, very important discipline that you need to practice, because where the ego ends, spirituality begins. So keep practicing, keep learning, keep growing. Atma Namaste.